Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I share my stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and the downs. I invite my guests to come on and share their stories, all in hopes that it inspires you, the listening audience, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. Before we get started today, if you don't know who I am, let me go ahead and introduce what I do. I am the creator of the Career Strategies for Success guidebook and the Career Strategies for the Infinite Dreamer. Together, they are the foundation of the Infinite Dreamers program. It is a career curriculum designed for youth ages 16 to 25 to help them become knowledgeable about the workforce and about the workplace. That includes onboarding, financial management or financial literacy forms that we all need to know before we go into them HR offices. And all of resume writing, all of those little intricacies that you need to know before you start your professional journey and personal journey. So that is why I created it. If you are interested in collaborating with me, please email me at jones@yourinfinitedirection.com, or you can go over to my website, www.yourinfinitedirection.com, and I would be happy to connect with you. So with that said, I have a guest today. Welcome, Harrison J. How are you today? Please share with the audience who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm doing great. So it's brilliant to be here. I'm from Cheshire in the UK, so that's Northwest UK. I'm an independent musician and I'm also a photographer as well. So I'm a creative person. I love just creating different sorts of media. So whether that be music or either photography, videography. So at the moment, I'm focusing very much on music and putting out a new song every other Friday. And it's music that I've been sitting on for ages and I've been meaning to put out, but now I'm finally like doing it, basically.
Every Friday, every other Friday, you
Every
said?
other, yeah, so every other Friday.
Okay, because that's that you setting a bar real.
I am, yeah. I kind of did that so I could force myself to be productive with it because
Uh-huh.
before I was procrastinating, and I thought that by releasing every other Friday, it kind of keeps the audience engaged. It gives them something to look forward to rather than putting out an album all at once by doing one song at a time. It just
Yeah.
keeps the hype going.
You know what? It's crazy that you said that because one of the questions that I always ask independent artists is how do you get your listeners and your supporters to appreciate your music? And it sounds like you have a strategy. How did you come up
Yeah,
with that? What made you think of every other Friday to keep listeners engaged?
I didn't want to do it every single week because that would just become too much to handle. And
Mhm.
then I thought that if I do less than that, because I'm still unknown, like I have 3,000 monthly listeners right now, which is great. And
It
I
is.
did that all on my own, but it means that there's still so much competition. Did you know that over 100,000 songs got uploaded every single day? So it's
Mm.
like crazy competition nowadays in the music industry. So it's one of them that I need to consistently put out music or else people forget about me, I think. But hopefully that once I've got more songs out, people won't forget anymore. Like they'll come back always and appreciate what's there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now every other Friday, your supporters and they know, okay, let me go over to Spotify or wherever, Apple Music and all of
Yeah,
these
it's on all
streaming.
platforms, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to include all of those things in the show notes. Before we get further into what you're doing right now, I want to talk about something really quickly because this is a platform of talking about career and stuff like that. And one of the stories that I share is my decision to go to college. Um, you recently graduated. Could you talk about what made you decide to go to school and get education versus going straight out into the workforce?
For me, I wanted to study a course that would really benefit. my career goals in music. So I thought media production was perfect for that because with the music industry, there's so much more than just music that's behind it, especially nowadays with marketing and promotion. Since I don't have a team, I've got to learn that skill on my own. So with the media production course, I feel like I've learned so many valuable skills. So I definitely recommend learning something that's going to benefit you in the music industry because there's so many different options. Like there's even music courses as well, which was something I was highly considering doing as well. But for some reason, I feel like if I picked a music course, it might have stifled my spirit a bit just because of the competition. But so I'm glad that media production it's taught me like more on the marketing side of things and also how to film and edit myself as well more because that way I don't have to spend money paying other people to do these things. I can do it myself too. So it does help independent artists a lot learning these other skills. So that's what I think is why it's worth it.
Yeah. Are you able to take those skills that you've learned and not only apply it to yourself, but then help others around you who have not taken that same choice that you made?
Yeah, definitely. So you can even make a bit of money there. Like if you know an independent artist friend that doesn't know how to edit themselves, you can offer your skills to them. So it just creates more avenues and more ways to earn a little money on the side too. So definitely,
Yeah. I like that. You're very strategic. You gotta be, because like you said, it's a
definitely.
lot of competition out here. Now, you say you're from the UK. I'm from the Americas. Could you please share the influences, the different sounds that the UK brings to the music scene that we may not know about?
Ooh, that's great. So I think that right now the UK music scene is very much dance influenced. So
Okay.
there's like garage sounds. Like I don't know if you know the garage genre much.
That's
I don't
not
know.
EDM, is it?
It's not really EDM. It's a bit more drum and bass influenced. So
Okay.
it's got a lot of percussion and a lot of fast paced, very high paced, but that's not really the style that I'm doing. But I'd love to get into stuff like that as well. That's another thing I would love to do one day is work with DJs and more. I'd love to collaborate more. As we're recording this right now, my next song that I'm putting out is a collaboration, but that's not it's not garage. But I'd love the garage genre. That I'd say that's really popping off in the UK right now, and it's I see a lot more independent artists thriving as well. Like
Mhm.
I think that the way that I think that TikTok has really changed the music industry. So now the UK charts is like you see a lot more TikTokers on the UK charts at the moment.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I know I don't know how different the US charts is, but I know that I think it's a bit more stagnant where it's like just like the A-list is still in the charts, but you see a lot more independent artists in the UK nowadays. It's a lot of DJs though, really, you see in the charts in the UK.
Okay. All right. So garage. So you said that's not really what you how your genre of music. Could you explain your genre of music? And I listened to a couple of your songs. You know what it's giving me? You know those coming of age teen movies. That's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like. I can hear your music and picture one of those kind of scenes. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, it's really good. So could you explain what your genre of music is and where you see your vision of fitting into the industry?
Yeah, so if I was to narrow down the genre of what mine is, I would say dark alt pop would be
Okay.
the easiest way of explaining because there's definitely a range of styles and sounds that I like to play around with. And I'm definitely in an experimental phase where I'm just trying all sorts of new things at the moment. So I'd say that there's songs that are slightly more rock leaning and there's others that are more even R&B leaning, like with my song Robotic, which doesn't sound like it would be R&B leaning with the title, but it actually is. So I wanted to surprise people with that song title. People would think it'd be like an electronic song, but it's not at all. Uh, and basically, it's just I have more of a darker tone with the lyrics. I want to say, but I do have
Okay.
more. But I think that it's just because I end up writing about my feelings. I think that's just the easiest thing that comes to me. But I'm not like against doing more happier songs in the future. Like I want to play around with different emotions and like have fun with it too. Like, so it's one of them that I don't really have a set goal, a set idea. I'm just seeing what works, playing around with it, having fun. I think that's what it truly means to be an artist, is to try new things and to just see what sound works for you. So at the moment, it's just kind of just trying new things, I guess.
Yeah, being open to trying new things. What are some of your musical influences that you like and that you try to incorporate or make in your own way and for your music?
Ooh, that's great. So there's so many influences. I listen to so many different genres. I'd say like some of my favorite artists is, do you know who Sam Fender is? You might not, because
No.
he's really big in the UK. I love Sam Fender though. Shout out to Sam Fender. He's got really amazing tracks. And I'd say that he's definitely a huge inspiration to me. So I'd say a lot of that sort of indie rock scene as well really kind of got me inspired to, like, I can do this on my own, look at they can do it on their own, so why can't I, sort of thing. And the way I
Fact.
first really got inspired is I used to be a radio host actually back when I was 16. I'm 22 now, so it was a local radio station, and so the town was Nantwich is the name of the town of the radio
Okay.
station it was. So I was the in the radio station in Nantwich. I did a show called Recent Releases, so that was finding new tunes every single week, and then by doing that, finding like 15 to 20 new songs every single week, that really got me like into the music culture, like listening to everything basically. So
I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me ask you that. So, do you have having that role and being an actual a DJ? Do you said a DJ, right?
yeah, yeah, I
At
was
the
like the
age of
host, and I would
16?
just like talk about it. I wouldn't like edit the tracks, I would just play them like as a radio host.
Yeah. Okay, so you radio host. Okay, thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
That said, do you now have a different ear for what you think that your supporters and your audience will want to hear? Because and I do that. This is the reason why I asked that question is because even with me, like there are certain things that I put together because I like it. But being a host, listening to other people's opinion or other people's requests, because I'm sure they're calling in requesting for certain things, it kind of gives you a different idea of what people will want to hear. Does how did that impact you and how you put together your music?
So I think that definitely helped me inspire like my rollout idea of putting out a new song every other Friday. Because since I know that there's just so much music being released at once, it can kind of just get lost in the water if you put out too much at once. So I think that's by doing that, it's made me aware to be selective with my releases, be more strategic with timing. And there's definitely some songs that I think that less generally appealing than other songs that I've released. So I've been sitting on them because I think that they're less mainstream.
Mm,
So it's like it's one of them that you don't want to be like playing it to be as mainstream as possible, because then the audience can tell that. And I want to be authentic with every release that I do, but also at the same time I know that what's going to be digested the easiest as
mm.
well. So it's one of them that I also love, like, before I release, I always share it with my friends first, and I like to get their opinion. So I think that getting my friends' opinions really help in finding what songs are the best songs.
Yeah. So you've always had this foot on the music scene. Like you've always had some type of influence or being able to be hands-on in the industry.
Yeah, not like in the main industry, just my
Yeah.
local industry. Yeah.
But that's good that you know what I mean. Don't play that down because you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd recommend that to any independent artist that might be listening. Just try see what your local scene has to offer. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah, and it can help you build relationships and
Yeah.
networking. Yeah, how does that help you, mentorship and relationships?
Yeah, so I haven't really had a music mentor really. I've just inspired myself to do it really, just because I love music. But it's one of them that there have been people that have helped me, like with the radio show, teaching me how to be comfortable talking live and just like how to carry on like being consistent with creating content. And then social media as well is another one that like with my degree we did learn a lot about like how to stay consistent with social media too. So that's something that definitely helped a lot, is having those uni lecturers teach us about that side of things too, because I think it's better hearing it from in like an actual school setting rather than just learning it on my own, because then social media is so unpredictable as well. And I'm
Yeah.
still learning myself. I need to get better with social media anyway. Like I know I need to be more consistent still, but it's one of them that it's so exhausting being constantly posting. It's one of them, it's unnatural to constantly post like that. Yeah,
Get burnout really quick, which kind of
definitely.
leads into my next question. With your strategy and the way that you're doing things to keep your name, kind of like out there and keep music accessible to your supporters, how do you balance and find time for your personal and professional, personal and professional balance for yourself and for your mental health? That's a lot.
Mm. So I definitely like planning out in advance helps me massively. Like I have a calendar. I could not cope without a calendar because I also have part-time jobs as well. So music isn't my main source of income right now. I'm also a bartender and I also work at a box office at a theatre actually. So that's a fun side hustle that I do. So just balancing that with planning the schedules, like they're part-time 0 hour contracts, so they're very flexible schedules, those jobs, so it works well with music. And then I'm still like learning how to get better at instruments too. I'll show you, I've got a piano right here, so there's
Yes,
my
it's
piano.
beautiful.
And then I've got a guitar as well. I'd say I'm better at piano than guitar, so
Oh,
but
cool.
yeah, still trying to get better at both of them. And I also need to, one thing I need to start doing is posting covers. I feel like that's my next goal, is planning the
Okay.
schedule for that. Because I think that that's what I'm missing. I feel like that could really help me in the algorithm, is if I post covers. So, yeah.
That really get more likes and views? Oh, because the songs are already known. And do you think that
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. You are doing a lot. And
I am. It does
yeah.
get tiring. It does feel
Mhm.
daunting at times for sure.
Yeah.
So,
But that's
mm,
part of being an independent artist, but because you have to do everything yourself or bring in help. How how do you find the perfect collaboration? Like do you have like a checklist? Okay, the person that I want to work with has to meet these, specifics. Like how do you decide who you're going to work with?
I'd say if they meet me through social media, I feel like I have to definitely have a good conversation with them first to truly get to know them, like make sure we're on the same page and on the right vibe. So it just depends on what it is. If it's just like a promotion thing, then it doesn't have to be as deep. But if it's a full-on song collaboration, it would be nice to like go and have a phone call at least first and like talk about our ideas and like brainstorm it together. And then so we did that with my next song that I'm putting out with the only Eric, the other artist, his name is. So he's also American. And so we found each other through Instagram. And then we've just been chatting and then we made the song called Talk to Me. And so it's about relationships, so it's about breakups. So it's kind of more on the sad side, but it's like pop still. So
Okay.
that's yeah, it will be out by now by the time this is out, because it will be August the 30th when it's out.
Okay, that's next this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, so it's 25th of August right now for you guys, but it will be Christmas Day when this is released then, you think?
Yeah, we want to say
Uh
Merry Christmas to you guys.
yeah, so Merry Christmas, guys. We're filming this 4 months in advance, so Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas for the UK. Merry Christmas, everyone. You know what? Harrison was the one that told me. He's like, this gonna come out on Christmas. I was like, really? I mean, you don't think that far. I don't. because I really am in the moment, take things one day at a time.
It's crazy how fast this year's gone by, honestly. I can't believe that it's already 4 months
Yeah,
to Christmas.
I know it is. It's 2024 has
Flown
came in
by.
with karate shoes, and I probably gonna leave the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, dang, I left the question I wanted to ask you, but that's okay. So let's have some fun stuff. Who do you want to work with in the future? Like if you had your pick of anyone in the world, like who would you do your next collaboration with?
Ooh, that's so hard. I love Kate Trinada. Do you know Kate Trinada?
No, I'm gonna have to write these people down. I have to go
Yeah, he's
look.
a DJ. Oh, you'd love him. He's got amazing tracks. So check out
Okay.
Kate Trinada. He's got such good rhythm. So he's such a good DJ. He's one of my favorites. So I'd love to work with him. It's like a dream collaboration of mine for sure.
Do you see yourself like dibbling and dabbling in any other genres of music?
Yeah, so I'd want to lean more into the dance side as well. I want to work with more
Okay.
DJs. I think that I could do many fun vocal ideas. I love writing lyrics as well. So I think I could make a good dance track very catchy. I think that
Mhm.
I'd be able to make it fun and exciting. Because I do want to make more fun, happy songs as well, but it's just with the production, the way that I know how to make it the best. I know how to make a good sad song on my own, basically. But I know
Uh-huh.
that I can do other stuff too. So it's one of them that I would want to work with a team to try other things to make it as good as it can be. But
Yeah.
all things good with just have to wait for the right things to come by, basically.
Yeah. You're doing some other things, not just music. You're doing a lot of videography too. I looked at your website, which is awesome, by the way. Pretty
Thank
cool. You
you.
a really good idea of, yeah, you just give me this coming of age type of, you know what I mean? The way you put together your photos, it's like it's very meticulous. I can tell you put a lot of thought into the image that you put together for yourself. Talk about if you could share with the audience as an independent artist, having that level of control over what you release and what you want people to see and gather of you as an artist.
Oh, it's so important, definitely. I think that having that control is so freeing. It's one of those that, as an artist, you want to feel like yourself when you're performing or just posting. It's one of them that you want to just have fun with it as well, to show people who you really are. And I think
Mhm.
that so many artistic people are afraid to show their full self and scared of what people think. And I felt
Yeah.
like that for a long time too. It's one of them that for people who you've known for a long time, showing them a new side of you that they've not seen before, it can feel scary too. So
Mhm.
that's definitely another thing with social media is learning how to rebrand on social media and
Yeah.
show like your longtime friends, hey, I'm now a musician, so get used to it, sort of thing. So I think that definitely as an independent artist, like embracing the fact that you can post whatever you want and just doing that to your full advantage is what I recommend for sure. Just have as
Mhm.
much fun with it as you can, because I think that then it doesn't feel like work either. Just having fun, showing people who you are.
Yeah. Being comfortable with that, what are some showing people who you are? What are some confidence boosters that you have done for yourself or you've practiced for yourself that you can share with up and coming independent artists who might be struggling with trying to be free with their identity, as an artist online and amongst their family and friends?
I think one thing I learned a fact recently that made me feel so much better about like music. Did you know that 20% of all of the songs on Spotify haven't even been listened to once? They have zero streams, which I don't understand how that works. Like, are people, like, is it bots uploading it or what? Like, I don't know. But I learned that statistic that 20% of the songs of Spotify have zero streams. So hopefully that makes anyone who doesn't have many streams feel better about their music because you're not part of that 20% that is zero.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it can be a difficult thing, you trying to balance who you are and who, that your path and who you want to become. And sometimes, not having the support, or may feel like you don't have the support of your community, can kind of make people give up. And so that's the
Yeah,
reason we
don't be
want this
discouraged by
platform.
numbers. That's definitely a good key thing to remember. Don't be discouraged by whatever number that you get with streams. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that's the reason for this podcast. I want people to know, like, still be inspired to go out and pursue your infinite possibilities. So how would you advise other independent artists who are looking to
Yeah.
be successful in the music industry? What would you say are some key things that they would need to pay attention to?
The first one is definitely social media, which is a shame. I wish that we didn't have to rely on social media as independent musicians, but you do in 2024. It's just you have to. It's one of them. So definitely that. And then the second one would be creating a unique sound. I think that a lot of new artists, they try to follow trends or they just follow the sound that their favorite artist is doing, but you want to create a unique sound to you that sounds just like authentically you to the fullest, I feel like. And it's also good to sit on music as well. I think that's another thing that some artists release it as soon as they've made it. But I think that it's better to sit on it for a bit, then you can go back and add little touches, because I definitely do that. Like some songs I waited years to release, like my song Mount Kilimanjaro, and made in 2020 and only released it this year in 2024. So I've added little things, made little lyric changes here and there, and just kind of when I knew it was ready, it was finally ready. So sometimes you got to slow cook it. It's not got to be microwave. Do you want to slow cook the music?
Okay. Slow cook. I know that's right. So you're saying when you learn something new about production and engineering, then you go in and you might edit a track.
Yeah, I'm always learning with production as well. I highly recommend YouTube for getting better with production skills, because there's so much amazing information available for free on YouTube that
Mhm.
like you don't need to pay someone to learn it really. I think that there's so many free information on the internet. But then again, everyone learns in different ways. Just because I learn on YouTube doesn't mean that everyone will find it best to learn that way as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, Harrison, this is another fun question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as an artist?
Ooh, I'd love to start performing live. That's one of the biggest drawbacks I have now as a musician, is I haven't actually ever performed a live gig yet. So I'd love to. I just don't have the way, I don't have the funding basically. I don't have the money to do it. So I may as well save up more first and then hopefully next year, fingers crossed. But I should also try things like open mic nights. But there's just not much of a music scene where I live. So I'd travel to Manchester or Liverpool, like so. Well, I'm more used to Liverpool because I go in uni there, but now I'm back living in Crewe. So Crewe is the town in Cheshire that I live, by the way. And so there's just no music scene in Crewe. So I want to move out, hopefully, because I still live with my family. So that's the goal of the next 5 years: move out and just try to truly immerse myself in the music world more, as much as I possibly can, and just have fun with it as well.
Okay, yeah, because you're still young and you are still building. And so I totally support you. Look, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on you
Oh, thank you.
over the next couple of years. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on you because you're really, really good. You really have a vision. I can see that. I can see that in your work. I can see like I said, go to his website, guys. You can see the way he puts together his production.
HarrisonJ.com.
Yes, Harrison. We're gonna include all of that in the show notes.
Uh,
And
Great.
you can really, really, really tell that you have a very, very, very you're very strategic in the way that you put your stuff together. You can tell that you see it as art. You can
I
tell.
really appreciate that. Thank you so
You can tell.
much.
Because it's like watching like a real video. Like it just gives me those coming of age movies like the Wallflower movie or those type of movies. That's what it gives me. So
That's another goal. A dream of mine would to have a song of mine be in a movie for sure. I'd love that.
yes,
Definitely a
go
dream of
ahead,
mine.
pursue that, because I think that it immediately gave me that vibe. It immediately gave me that vibe. So
Thank you.
you for coming here and sharing some time with me. Before I let you go, again, this is a platform of inspiring people to believe in their infinite possibilities. Could you please share with the audience some words of wisdom to help them pursue their goals?
Okay, so a good quote that I've known that is a really good one is to take control is to accept that it's out of your control. So that's my words of wisdom. I think that as an independent musician, you want to have control over every single thing, but to accept that what is it is what it is with whatever number it is, or how people receive what you post. It's one of them that just carry on doing it, be authentically you, and just to take control is to accept that it's no longer your control. It's out there. It's what they want to do with it, basically.
Yeah, let it go. Put it out there and let it go.
Hmm.
Good. Yeah. Again, could you please share with the audience where they can find your music and more about Harrison J?
Yeah, so social media, it's Harrison J. So ITS Harrison, then JAY. Also, my last name is actually Jones, like you too, but J's my middle name, if anyone's wondering. And so it's Harrison JAY on all music platforms for all of my music. So it'll be a new song every other Friday. With December, I'm not sure if I'll still be doing that, but I'd like to hope so. I need to make some Christmas songs. Right now, in August, I don't have Christmas songs right now, but there's an idea that I do have. So there is a original Christmas song idea that I do have in my head called Settle Down for Christmas that I've not made it yet, but I've got lyrics to it. So I should produce that and put it out this year. Who knows? Maybe I will. So Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, guys. That's another thing. Just Merry Christmas. Hope everyone has an amazing New Year as well. It'll be New Year's next week for you guys. So 2025, that's crazy.
Do you
Like
have
in
any New
this,
Year's goals? Not
oh, New
music.
Year's
Let's put it
goals.
just for yourself, your own personal. So do you have any goals? You don't have to
It would be
share. You don't have to share.
amazing to move out. I think that that would be an amazing goal. Like I wouldn't be hard on myself if it doesn't happen because I wanted it to happen this year in 2024, but I've accepted it's just not going to. So next year, that would be a goal is to move out.
Transition, yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to include again, we're going to make sure that everybody knows where to find you. You hold on. I'm going to send you off the right way. But to the audience, we will see you next episode. Take care, everyone.